Two newlyweds, a dream honeymoon, and a railway track that became their final destination. But this isn't just a tragedy, it's a reflection of something deeper we never talk about. What happens when society ties a man's worth to how much he can provide? Hello everyone, Coach Ahmed here. Welcome back to another episode of Stories That Shift, where we take stories that hit hard and extract the mindset lessons that can help us heal, grow, and rise. Today's story, it's complex, it's emotional, it's tragic, but most of all, it's a mirror because in this story you'll see parts of yourself and maybe people you've misjudged too. So let me tell you the story, and you can find about that story in more detail in the link which is in the comments section below. So here's what happened. A newly married couple living in the Punjab province of Pakistan had dreamt of a honeymoon in the northern part of Pakistan in the mountains of Naran. The groom, whose name was Sajid, worked in a textile factory, and like any man trying to make his new bride happy, he wanted to take her to a honeymoon. For that, he asked his elder brothers for financial help. They could not arrange funds for him. And just 2.5 months after his marriage, one Tuesday morning, Sajid left home with his wife and went to the railway crossing. He called his brother from there and told him, I'm going to commit suicide with my wife. Come and collect our bodies. After the phone call, Sajid and his wife lay down on the railway tracks. At that moment, train heading from Lahore to Karachi arrived, and both husband and wife committed suicide by coming under the train. They died on the spot as their heads were severed from their bodies. It shocked everyone. Some people on the internet are calling it a failure of mental health. Some are blaming poverty. Some are saying this is what happens when people don't talk. But I want to take a different angle over here, an angle that most aren't exploring. So, hear me out. What if Sajid wasn't just heartbroken, but also trapped in pride? What if he didn't ask for help with vulnerability, but with expectation? Like, they are my brothers, they have to give. And when they didn't, maybe it wasn't just sadness, maybe it felt like betrayal. This wasn't about a honeymoon, this was about ego, this was about identity, this was about the deep, painful belief if I can't provide, I'm not a man. Now let's flip the script for a second. What if the brothers couldn't help? What if they had kids in school, rent to pay, or financial burdens we'll never see? And now, after this tragedy, they are living with guilt, facing public blame, grieving not just their brother's death, but their own emotions. Maybe they didn't say no out of cruelty. Maybe they said no out of capacity. But here's the part no one talks about. Sometimes the person saying no is also a victim. And that brings us to the real issue underneath the story. Something that I call external validation burnout. External validation burnout is when you attach your worth to how others respond. When your self respect depends on whether people say a yes or no, you're already setting yourself up for collapse. So here's the truth, everybody. Your worth is not determined by what you can give. Your identity is not defined by others' approval. And someone else does not make you any less valuable if they say no. The shift is learning to say, if they can't give, I can still grow. If they don't show up, I'll still stand tall. If I'm being tested, maybe I'm being trusted to lead myself. So here's the raw truth. Sajid wasn't evil. Neither were his brothers. This story wasn't about villains. This was about pain meeting pride and no one having the tools to sit with it. We all need to build not just our bank balances, but better mindsets, better support systems, and better conversations. This is what I call MSC. Better mindsets, better support systems, and better conversations. So, if this story struck a nerve, if you've ever been in a place where someone else's no felt like rejection, if you've tied your worth to your work or your income or your ability to please others, it's time for a new narrative. Let's talk not about success, but about staying sane while chasing it. Because the game doesn't change with hustle, it changes when you change your mindset. So, this was Stories That Shift. Remember, the ones we blame are often the ones we don't understand. And the person you need to forgive might even be you. You're not broken, you're just buried. Let's unearth the power within. Let's change the mindset to change the game.